Hello everyone. Today I would like to talk about 9 things that you must do this year. 9 things that you should make sure that you achieve this year. If you do these 9 things, you'll be able to make your year better and you will be able to achieve more than you have achieved in the past years. So what am I talking about? Number one is to create something for yourself. I was watching one of Miles Monroe's podcasts, or I was listening to one of his messages, and he said that to have something, like to have wealth, you should create something for yourself. And what is creation? Creation can be anything. You can decide to create a book and decide to create a product, or you can decide to create maybe a podcast or something. Just make sure that you have something that you have created for yourself, and that is what you will now market so as to produce wealth for yourself as an income generator for yourself. So you should create something. So number two, we are going to cut down on expenses. Cut down on expenses. So I remember I was reading a post, and the post talked about a man. He said he met his former university mate, and he saw him, the way he was looking. He felt he wasn't looking well and all that compared to him, and he felt he had arrived. He said his car was there looking much plusher than the man's car and everything. So he saw the man driving whether an old 504 or something, and it was like, so I think they decided to have a meeting at this man that wasn't looking so good's house. So he went there and he said he was shocked at the assets that this man had in the area and everything. And later, through their discussion, he later found out that the man had majority of the shares. The man had majority of the shares in his company, something like that. And he said he was humbled. He said he now saw that his own house was heavily mortgaged. He was still paying mortgage for it and everything, while this man had none of that. And he said he shook his head at himself and everything. So that's it. The man was able to cut down on his expenses to be able to achieve that. So you are going to cut down on the expenses. You are going to think before you acquire whatever you want to acquire now. So right now, I actually think before I buy anything, as that's a sharp contrast to years back when I used to buy things on impulse. So now I think we should try and develop this habit of thinking whether we need it or not. So it will help you to cut down on your expenses. Number three is write down. You need to write down. So write down. If you have any good idea, you write it down. Writing down actually helps you. Like when you can drop it. Maybe you have forgotten about the task. You stumble on it and you remember that, oh, I have to do this. You can keep a particular book for that, for writing down your goals and your aspirations. Number four is execution. So after writing down, make sure that you execute. Make sure that you execute. So some people actually say that execution is the most important, and I believe it, because when you execute it, that's the difference between you and the average person. If you have an idea, everyone can have an idea, but once you don't execute it, it's like you don't have an idea. And I'm sure many of us have very, very good ideas, life-changing ideas that can turn around your life and even your generation, but are you going to execute it? That's the main thing. So number five is planning. So you're going to have long-term goals as well as short-term goals. So while you have long-term goals, also focus on your short-term goals. There was a time I used to just focus on long-term goals, and I just left my short-term goals, and it didn't really help me at all. So have long-term goals, short-term goals, and focus on both of them. Number 6 is um, keeping money aside. Keeping money aside. So, how will I put it now? You have to keep money aside. Keep money aside so that if you run out of a job or something, you'll be able to fall back on it. Now, some people cannot, once they stop their job, they can't even have money that will last them for 5 months. So you have been working for so long and you don't even have money that can take you for 5 months. That isn't good. So make sure that you keep money aside. Keep some money aside. Keeping money aside is what will differentiate you from other people. I remember someone was saying that the people that were building houses then were the people that were at the lower cadre of her organization. So keeping money aside was what differentiated those people from her. They kept money for that particular project, disciplined themselves, kept money aside for that project. So it's not like those people that have their land or whatever, they are better than you. It was just because they decided to keep money aside for those purposes. So that was the difference between that's the difference between people that have those things and the people that do not have. So number 7 is reading. We all should read, and even if you are not able to read, you should be able to listen to videos. There are people that have summarized books and everything, and you don't need to go and start. If you don't like it, you can listen to the audio version. It's still going to impact the same knowledge. So imagine doing that from time to time. You will be very knowledgeable. So number 8 is adding a new skill. You should add a new skill. You know, there are some people that once they add this skill, they have this qualification, maybe something that even took them less than a year to achieve. You see that how their salary scales up and all that. So that skill was able to change their lives entirely. So that should be what we should try to achieve. We should try to do that. You can add a new skill. If adding a new skill will help you, you add that new skill to your profile. So number 9 is learning. You should explore new ideas. You should be open to learning. I remember those senior generation, the elderly people, some of them were so stuck and they couldn't come to the internet age and everything. They just felt things should continue the same way, and some companies as well did that and they phased out. They didn't adapt to the new thing, and that's how they phased out. So we should not be like them. And learning too, if you feel you know there will come a time that after you have learned so much, you feel, what else can it be? What else can it be? I know all these things. You will see that when that happens, you will start dying. Once you feel that, okay, I know it all, you will just start going down and everything, because every day you learn a new thing. And when you feel that when you actually listen to something, you take your time or humble yourself to learn a new thing, you just see that, okay, I didn't really know this. So just be patient. No matter how much you think you know, just be ready to learn a new thing. And I think with this, your year is going to turn around. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.